Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arslan and today we are on day 70th of solving the object-oriented programming questions with the help of Python. If you are very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. In this playlist, we have been solving questions based on object-oriented programming. We started from a very basic concept from day one where we have only discussed a very basic concept of object oriented programming, class and objects, and then we have been moving with our further concept of object oriented programming day by day. We have covered instances, we have covered objects, we have covered inheritances, and then we in the inheritance too we have discussed different types of inheritance. We have discussed polymorphism, we have discussed encapsulation, and many more topics we have discussed. So today's topics we will be discussing is abstraction, and abstraction is a very important topic of object oriented programming, and I will be explaining it to you. The object oriented programming concept today is abstraction, and today we will be just learning about abstraction and also doing a question based on abstraction. And while learning abstraction we will be knowing the basic structure of object of abstraction and also doing question which I have prepared you with. So now let's start this tutorial, and if you are very new to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. Now to begin with, first of all let me tell it to you what is abstraction. So guys, let's assume what, let me just write it here with some example here, and explain it to you that what is abstraction. So let's say this is a basic understanding, or you can say basic structure understanding, and let's say it's a basic structure. If you already know about abstraction, then well and good, your knowledge will be increased of the abstraction and it will be a quick revision for you. However, if you do not know from scratch, I will be teaching you that what is abstraction, and then we will be doing question based on abstraction. Now let's start with the question of with the concept of abstraction, and what I am just gonna tell it to you that what is abstraction. So let's say we have a class called uh, let's say we have a class called company. Let's say we have a class called company, and it could be any company, and it has two child classes. Let me pass this, and let's say it has two child classes. uh, let's say it has two child classes. Let's say it's a web developer, and since it's a child class, let's inherit from company. And again I'm gonna pass this, and let's say I have another child class as mobile developer, and I will be just changing company from company to developers, and I will be changing it simultaneously, developers, PERS, and copy this and paste it here as well, and I'm just gonna say pass it again. Now this is just the inheritance, you can say. This is inheritance, but what I'm gonna teach here is your abstraction. So what is abstraction, guys? So what I'm gonna tell it to you here is that we have a class called developers, right? And we have we have two child classes called web developer and what we have mobile developers, right? Now in this situation, if we have a method, and let's say we have a method called security, and this this web developer want to connect to this developer, and to connect to this developer he has to pass some security authentication. So what I'm saying here is to access the parent class developers, this this class, this child class, in fact this child class has to pass a security check. All right, so to pass this, I'm just giving you an example that this developer this developer class is our parent class, right? And these two are our child class, right? So these two are child class, and this is our parent class. And if this child class want to access, well, let's say he want to access the parent class, it has to pass a security check. Now these two classes are our concrete classes. What I mean here is these two are concrete classes. What does concrete mean here is they are real. Concrete classes means they are real and they are not hidden. Means they are not hidden, actually. They are not hidden. So concrete classes are not hidden. However, this is our abstract class. So this is not yet abstract class. We have to make it abstract, but we have to give it a name as an abstract class. So how do we create an abstract class? I will be just telling it to you. But let's understand the concept of abstraction. Now to approach this, to access this parent class, it has to in fact pass the security check, or you can say that a barrier to just access the developers. So what if I create an abstract class? To create an abstract class, we have to say from abc import abc comma abstract method. All right, so after this, if I create a method called, let's say I have a method called def security, and if I say security and self here, and just put it like this and say print me this, print me nothing, just pass this value. Now by default we have to do it like this. If I want to create an abstract method, we have to do it like this. All right, so if I say that security, and I have to also mention here that this is an abstract method, so I will be saying that this is an abstract method. Now I have inherited this method from this, and I mean to say that web developer has been inherited from the developer's parent class, right? So this is a concrete class, and now this is our abstract class. So abstract class means that it is hidden. What is hidden? What does hidden means is that we do not know what it is, but we are using it, which means that let's take an example of a remote or a phone, or you can say a keyboard. You are using it keyboard, you are pressing some numbers on it or some alphabets in it, and automatically it's happening, but you do not know the functionality that while I'm pressing what is happening behind. So that part is hidden. Let's say you are writing a name here. Now you have pressed 4 letters here, NAME, and you know that while you press these numbers, press these letters, this will be written. And if you press control slash, this thing will be commented, but you do not know the code behind it, or you do not know the logic behind it. So this part is hidden. So similarly, this security method, if I write abstract method, you have to just pass a check that this is hidden. This part is hidden, but it is creating a security check that if I want to use it in our child class, this method which means that if I want to use the parent class and inherit from parent class, we have to pass a certain check, that is our security check. I have just written a name as security. You can write anything you want to. I'm just giving an example of security, that let's say we have an example of security. There are multiple types of examples you can take. I'm just taking a simple example to make you understand that if I take a security check here, and if I just let's say I just write it here, def info, if I just run a method called def info below here, def info, and write self here and say that print this is a web developer. All right, and if I run this code, you will be seeing that I have to create an instance too. Let's say that a is equals to web developer, and I have to pass I have to create an object here, and this is an instance here. And if I say a dot def info, a dot def sorry a dot info, and close it by parentheses and run this, this is giving me this is a web developer. And what I mean here is that so we have checked that when we run this code here, what we are getting this is a web developer. Now I want to just comment this out, or just let it be like this only. So what I want to do here is I want to just create a method here, a method in our developer class, saying that let's create a method called database, and which will be creating database self, and which will be just giving me print value, which will be saying that connected to the database. Now why I have written this, why I have created this method, I am making a connection saying that we have a class developer, right? Now I'm giving you the reason, I'm just creating a reason for this web developer to connect to the developers class. Now we have a method called database, which is giving me a printed value as connected to the database. Now this def info method is giving me a value as printed value as this is a web developer. Now to connect to this database, I can just inherit it from developers class. But if I just do it previous way, like the way which we were doing previously, it will be throwing me no error. We can correct it. I can show it to you that if I say that a dot database and run it, it will be giving me a printed value as connected to the database. Now the abstraction parts come here. Now the abstractions part come here. What if I write in bracket, if I say that ABC, now it is an abstraction class. So now this is an abstraction class, and if I just run it now, it will be throwing me an error. You can say that can't instantiate abstract class web developer with abstract method security. So now what does it mean is what does it mean, and what it is saying is that we cannot create an instance, or we cannot run a method on the instance without just creating a security inside this class. So we have to create this security method inside this class. So without creating this method inside our class, in child class, we cannot run. So if I just create def security method, and if I just say print me a value, security check in inside web developer class. Now I have created this method, and if I run this code now, you will be seeing that it's showing me no error. So what is the thing here, that why it was not able to run previously and why it's able to run now? It is able to run now, and why it was not able to run previously? Because it was not able to run previously because we haven't created this security, and now when we have created this security method, we can run it. So the part here is that when we just inherit from the parent class inherit from ABC class, that is our abstract class, and we have created a method called abstract method called security. Now by default we just pass this value, and we will be overriding it in our subsequent classes. Now to now if I create a child class here called web developer and I just want to create a check, a security check, I will be creating a abstract method in our parent class. And this method, this means that I have to pass through a security. If I want to pass through a security, I have to create a class inside our web developer class as well to pass through that security check. Alright, similarly, if I just create a method called def mobile info and write it like this, and I just say that print me a value that this is a mobile developer, something like this, and I create an instance here b is equals to mobile developer and just close it by parenthesis. And if I run the method called b dot mobile developer mobile info and just run this code, it should print me this value, but it will not print me this value. Why? Because it will again show you an error calling that can't instantiate abstract class mobile developer with abstract method security. All right, so with abstract method security we cannot create mobile developer. So what we need here is we have to create a method called security inside this class to make it run. So if I say def security and just remove it and say that print, and say in the print value that this is the security check for mobile developer. So even while we were not running this method, we were getting the error. So this is the part here that even while we not run this method, this security method, anywhere in our instances, we will be still getting our error. So it's not like you have to run or not run. If it's not there inside our child classes, this abstract method which we have created, it's a check, you can say that it's a check inside our parent class, and you have to just recreate inside our child classes. So if I run this now, it will be throwing me no errors. It will be saying that this is a mobile developer. So now I hope you have just got the basic understanding, basic concept of abstraction. So now let's read some text here and also do some question based on abstraction to have more clarity on the topic. Now let's imagine you are building a video game. So let's just imagine you are building a video game. Okay, in the video game you have different types of character: warriors, wizards, and archers. Each character has properties like health, attack power, and special abilities. So what they are saying here is that imagine you have a video game, right? You are building a video game and then you have some characters, some sort of characters. Let's say you have wizards, you have archers, and then you have warriors as well, and etc. You have some let's say three characters if I talk, and each character has properties like health, attack power, and special abilities. All right, so if we create video games, each character would have properties like health, of course, attack power as well, and then special abilities as well. Now this is an abstraction part. Why it's abstraction? Because video game is an abstract part, right? Now let's think about abstraction in terms of this game. So let's just think about abstraction in terms of this game and real world versus abstraction. In the real world, each character has specific details and behaviors, right? So if you talk about yourself only, you will be having specific details and behaviors, and it will be very different from everyone, right? And it will be very specific and it will be very different, and it will be having so much and so many details, right? So but in games code, if you talk about in fact in games code, you don't need to present every detail, right? Let's say in real world, you might have 2 lakhs two hands, and many more things you have, and you will be having each and everything. But in game, you might not have each and every detail, and in fact you don't have each and every detail which you have in real world. But in games you do not cover every specific thing, so uh, you abstract away unnecessary specifics and only focus on the most important aspects of the characters. Like you just don't care about the color of the hair, right? Or you can say color of an eye, or you will be not just mentioning the details like the color of the teeth. If I just talk about the precise things, or you won't just you will be just only focusing on the uh, abstraction part, like aspects of the character, including like health. You will be just covering the aspects of attack, power, and special abilities. You will be more focusing on that, rather than just focusing on more detailed part, which will be not doing anything about the characters. All right, so that won't be making any good. Now, creating an abstract class, you create an abstract class called character. This class defines the common attributes and method every character should have, like health. Like I talk about that, the character you will be creating, and it will be an abstract character. All right, and it will be having some attributes and method every character should have. Like you have three characters, let's say warriors, wizards, and archers. So these characters will have common attributes called health, or called attack, or called move. And you can just also have some power, and more and more it will be having, but it some will be common. So the common will be health, attack, and move. However, you don't provide implementations of these methods in the abstract class, because the way warriors attack or move might be different from wizard. What I mean here is, uh, even though they all have the similar type of name of the attributes, or you can say methods, called health, attack, and move, you won't be providing the implementations of the abstract methods in the abstract method, because the way the warrior attack or move might be different from the wizards. Like wizards will attack from some fire, and warriors might attack from a gun. So these two will have different types of implementation and different types of the way they attack. So this is the way they have the different implementations. So I hope you are getting the point, that why how the abstraction is coming. And concrete subclasses. Now, what is concrete? You create concrete subclasses for each character type: warrior, wizards, and archer. Each of these subclasses inherit from a character abstract class. In these subclasses you provide specific implementations of the method, like attack and move. Now you create concrete subclasses for each character type: warrior. And what I mean here is that, what is concrete subclasses? Concrete subclasses are classes which are not hidden. And the classes which we have class which I have created here above in the first line, class developer, this is called an abstract class. And this is why it's an abstract class, because you do not know the code. You do not know the scenario behind it. It's all hidden. But in this web developer class, you know all the thing, because you know the def method, how it's working, you know security, how it's working. So this is the concrete part, and this is the abstract part. So concrete, abstract, both are different. And how they are different: abstract is hidden, and concrete is not hidden. Now you create concrete subclasses for each character type: warrior, wizard, and archer. Each of these subclasses inherit from the character abstract class. In these subclasses you provide a specific implementation of the method, like attack and move. Using abstraction, now in your game code, when you create instances of character, you do not need to know all the 90 nitty gritty details about how each of the type of the characters move or attack. You just know that every character has these methods and attribute. Because of the abstract class, you call the character dot attack without caring whether it's a warrior, wizard, or archer. Now, how why we are using means using the abstraction part. Now let's understand the using the abstraction part. Now let's say you have some characters. Let's talk about wizards and warriors, specifically with these two. Now if you just call the method called wizards character dot attack, if you just call the character attack without caring whether it's a warrior, wizard, or archer, what what you will be doing here is you will be not caring about the nitty gritty details, which means that you will be not caring about the minor details, each and every individual details of the characters. You will be just calling the method character dot attack. You just know that every character has these method and attributes because of the abstract class. You know this, that each and every character will have these methods called attack or called move. Each and every character will have, right? And you will be just simply calling character dot attack without caring whether it's a warrior, wizard, or archer. In this scenario, abstraction helps you focus on the core features of and behaviors of character without getting bogged down into specific details of each type. And it simplifies your code and allows you to work with a common interface, the method defined in the abstract class, while hiding the individual implementation. So now in this scenario, abstraction helps you focus on the core features and behaviors of the characters, which I mean, which are what are the key core features here, which are the attack feature, that and our move feature, and you do not have to worry about the features which are hidden. So you only have to worry about the features which are specific, which are important, and it simplifies your code and allows you to work with this common interface, the method defined in the abstract class, while hiding the individual implementation. Now while hiding individual implementation, we are just using the part which we know, which we require, that is we will be not requiring the implementation, individual implementation. Let's say wizard have some individual implementation, and lizards have some individual implementation, and archers will have some individual implementation, and these three will all will have individual implementation. However, they will have some common implementation, that will be our move or attack. So we will be using those common implementation in our abstraction. To put in evenly more simply, abstraction is like using a TV remote. You do not need to know how pressing a button changes the channel. You just know that it does. Like I talk about the keyboard, I am giving you an example with a TV remote as well. You to put it even more simply, abstraction is like using a TV remote. You just use a TV remote without knowing to know that how, while pressing the button, what will be done. You don't need to know how pressing a button changes the channel, right? If you press a key K, or you just press the key L on the keyboard of your computer or a laptop, you do not know that how it is being pressed, what is the functionality. You just press and you just get the output. So you just know that it does, right? You just know that it does. While you press the key, it will be pop up on the screen. So you know that it does, but you do not know how it is done. So the remote abstract with the complicated inner workings of the TV. Similarly, abstract classes provide a way to work with objects without needing to understand all the internal. So the TV remote abstract of the complicated inner workings of the TV. All right. So the complicated things inside the TV, like how it is just done with the radiation and all the stuff, it is not shown, but we know that somehow, some way, it is connecting to the TV, and this is how the abstraction part is done. That some part which we do not need to know is hidden, and the part we should know is known to us. Like here, we should know that if I just press a button, the the sum functionality will change. If I just change the channel, I will be changing the, but I will be just pressing the button to change the channel, but we do not know the how it is changed, right? So this is what abstraction is done. So we do not know, we do not need to know the hidden part, we only need to know that the thing which is required to know. Similarly, abstract classes provide a way to work with objects without needing to understand all the internal complexities. So similarly, abstract classes provide a way to work with objects without needing to understand all the internal complexities. So this is what is abstraction. Now we have just done a basic concept here, basic understanding of the abstraction. Now let's understand this in a more better way with a question here. And I hope while we do the question, I have just written here, you will be having a more clarity of the abstraction topic. Now while we doing more practice, while we doing more question on this topic in our upcoming classes, we will be having a more broad and more understanding of the topic called abstraction. Now let's let's just solve this question and understand the concept of abstraction in a more better way. So we have to define a class called shape with an abstract method. So what I'm going to do here is I will be saying that class, let's just comment this whole basic code from here, so we just do not get the printed value from the upper basic understanding section. Now if I just create a class called shape, and we have this shape with an abstract method called calculate area. So now we have to create an abstract method called calculate area. So to create an abstract method, we have to just first of all import it from abc. Import ABC, we have to import two things. First of all, we have to import from ABC, import ABC, and also import abstract class, abstract method. So we have imported two things. This also we have imported, and this is also we have imported. Now we have to create a method called def calculate area and self. Now we have to create this as a an abstract method. To create abstract method, we was in our parent class just pass this value, and we write at the rate abstract method. Now after this, we have to also pass inside this parenthesis the name as abc. This is our abstract class. Now what we will be doing here is what is the purpose of this abstract method. So what is the purpose of this abstract method? We already know that this is a check, you can say in our easy language, that it is a check. If we do not create this check inside our child classes, if we don't recreate this, it will be not run. So the child class method or anything will not be running if we just do not recreate this method inside our child class. All right, so this is our abstract method. Now how can you create an abstract class in Python? Provide an example. So we have create an abstract class, that is, this is an abstract class. So we have provide abc here inside this parenthesis. So this is how we create abstract class. So this is abstract method which we have created. This is abstract method, and this is abstract class. So without just putting this abstract class, you cannot means they both are connected. You have to put at the right method, abstract method as well, and abc inside those parentheses as well. If you do not put it either of them, the abstraction won't work. So can you directly create an instead of an abstract class? Why or why not? So they are saying, can you create directly create an instance of an abstract class? Let's try this. So what we will be doing here is we will be creating a direct instance. Can you create directly instance of an abstract class? So this is our abstract class, and I want to create an instance of it. So let's say a is equals to shape, and if I just close it by parentheses, and if I say that print a, and I just want to run this and see that whether it's running or not. Let's see. So it's showing me an error. It's showing that can't instantiate abstract class without abstract method called method calculate area. So what does it mean here is that we cannot run it until we create this abstract method. So this is already inside it and we cannot run actually. So we cannot actually uh, we cannot actually create an instance of our abstract class, which means that we cannot create the instance of this shape class. So this is the shape class, this is a abstract class, right? So we cannot create an instance for this. Now why or why not, we already know the reason behind it, because we cannot instantiate. If you run this code, if you will be seeing that can't instantiate abstract class shape without a method called calculate area. We already know this, which means that it has no implementation in the derived class. So this this class, this abstract class is meant to be subclassed. What I mean here is that this class has no implementation, and the subclass is like if I create a shape class as a rectangle or a circle, those subclasses have would be having some implementation. So that's why we cannot even create an instance for our abstract class, and we cannot even call the method of its. So uh, that's why, because the reason behind is that we cannot use them or create because they are just not meant to be used. They are just used to create a check. All right, so why do abstract method have no implementation in the abstract class? So that's why the reason I have already told you, and this is all for today. I hope you have understood the concept of abstraction, and in the next upcoming tutorials we will be discussing it in more detail, and more questions we will be doing on the abstraction. This was just a quick uh, you can say just a basic understanding of abstraction. While we're doing the more question on abstraction, you will be gaining a better understanding, because with question, with practice, you get the better understanding. So practice makes main perfect. So this is what uh, thing we have done today. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this tutorial, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you next time.